This is gonna sound crazy, but sometimes failing can actually help you pass your Cambridge exam. And no, I don't mean that failing will inspire you to become a better person and work harder. That's not what I'm trying to say. I literally mean that sometimes failing can help you pass. Let me explain. A Cambridge exam is not just one paper. If you are taking the B1 preliminary exam, a Cambridge exam is 4 papers: reading, speaking, listening, and writing. If you're taking the B2 first or the C1 advanced exam, then it is 5 papers: reading, use of English, writing, listening, and speaking. In order to pass, you need an overall score, which is calculated by looking at each individual part. So, if you're taking the B1 preliminary, in order to get your B1 certification, you need an overall score of 140. If you're taking B2 first, you need an overall score of 160. And if you're taking C1 advanced, you need an overall score of 180. Let's have a quick look at an example to see what this looks like. Here are some very well-balanced results for a B2 first exam. Notice how the candidate has successfully scored a grade B in every section of their exam, and so they have been awarded with a very comfortable score of 174. A grade B. But this is idealistic. Life is messy, people are messy, and sometimes Cambridge exam results are pretty messy. All of the examples I'm about to show you are real exam results. In fact, they're the results of my students, but don't worry because I've got their permission to share them. And also, they're all anonymous, so you cannot track them down and fall in love with them or anything. But they're terrible people. You wouldn't want to fall in love with them anyway, trust me. Oof. Okay, so the first set of results. Check these out. These are the results for a B2 first exam. Now, you'll notice the student passed every section of their B2 first exam except writing, which they were awarded 155 for. However, looking at the bigger picture, did this matter? No, not really. Overall, due to their success in the other parts of the test, they still managed to pass. But okay, their score in writing was not a horrendous fail. 155? Well, I reckon that if the student had spent a little more time familiarising themselves with the different genres of writing and how to write in those genres, then they could have pushed that mark up to 160. And also, they only failed in one part of the test. Basically, I think this score could easily be improved. However, let's look at another example. Here are a student's B1 exam results. Remember, the student was aiming for a B1 certification, and so needed to score 140 or above. Reading, 140, so we are on the border, but okay, well done, they passed. Writing, 150. This is respectable, this is really good. Speaking, 143. Again, this is close to the border, but I'm not complaining. Listening, 128. Oh my god, I mean, yeah. However, they still managed to achieve their goal and get their B1 certification. They barely achieved it, scoring exactly 140 points, but they still got it. And this is what I mean when I say that failing one part can actually help you pass. Look, this student really struggled with listening. Their listening was terrible, and I had only 2 months to ensure that they got this certification. If they hadn't, their parents would have killed me. In that time, I had a choice. I could either try and improve their listening, which I suspected would be very difficult and demotivating for them, or I could try and improve upon what they already had, ensuring it's in perfect condition for the exam. So, instead of focusing on listening, I let that go. I focused on writing and ensured they knew everything they needed to know about writing in the context of the B1 preliminary exam to squeeze out every single possible mark that they could. I did this hoping that even though I knew they were definitely going to fail listening, that their writing score would counterbalance this. And luckily for me, it worked. Oh yeah, and lucky for them too, you know, the student. It's not all about me, you know, the guy with the YouTube channel. Yeah. When it comes to exams, if you are severely pressed for time, it may be better to focus on your strengths and maximize your marks in this department than trying to improve upon a severe weakness. This is terrible language learning advice, but in my opinion and in my experience, it's good exam preparation advice if you don't have much time in which to prepare. Now, to finish, let me show you the craziest B2 first exam results that I've ever seen. But first, some backstory. The student should not have taken the B2 first exam. They knew this. I advised them against taking it. I advised their parents against taking it, but they were like, Toby, boy oh boy, our child is going to take the B2 first Cambridge exam before the end of the year, and so be it. So I just, I took the money. I'm poor, I needed it, all right? God, don't judge me. And even though I really enjoyed spending their parents' money, in the back of my head, I always felt guilty because I thought there is no way this person is going to pass their exam. So I had 1 month to work a miracle, and I decided to focus on speaking and writing. I knew I couldn't really improve their English. There is no way in a month I can make a difference to their listening, reading, and use of English, besides familiarizing them with the structure of the test. So instead, I did my best to take the English that they already had and tailor it to what's required of them in the exam, specifically related to writing and speaking. I thought that if they knew everything that needed to be included in an essay, a letter, an email, a report, a story, an article, that they'd be able to get by in writing and just about pass. And you know what? Their speaking was okay. So I just gave them a bunch of complex structures to repeat in the exam like a robot to demonstrate to the examiner that they could use some complex grammar. And that's basically what we did together for a month, and we became the best of friends. Remember, they were taking the B2 first exam, so they needed an overall score of 160. And yeah, this is how they did. Reading, 152. This is a very comfortable fail, not even on the border. Use of English, 149. Even worse. Wow. Listening, 154, so we have another fail, unsurprisingly. Writing, 160, so we did it. Good job. Speaking, 183. Seriously, C1 in speaking, yet barely achieving a B1 in use of English. But guess what? Even though the student failed 3 sections, overall, they managed to score 160 and they got their B2 first certification. Woohoo! Yeah, they passed. They actually did it. And they only did it because they focused on what they were already okay at and just forgot about what they knew they would fail. And so here is the moral of the story. If you are severely pressed for time and you know there is no way you're going to pass the reading, the listening, or the use of English, then just put all your effort in to writing and speaking, and maybe you'll be able to pass, in spite of failing the other sections so terribly. Hope that was helpful. If you liked the video, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, leave a comment down below. My name is Toby, and this was Smash English.